Peace, Purdy. Yeah, so let's go ahead and jump into the Purdy thing. So I was watching Brad Graham of the SF Niners. He made a good point that before all these injuries, people have figured out the protection scheme of Kyle Shanahan. And, there'd be some holes here and there. Some defensive coordinators already know his tips and tricks to get it done. That's with the starting line. Now you're putting him out there with literally just practice, like Juan said, just practice level, like practice squad level left tackles. And maybe they are good in the end. Maybe they'll play better in the end. Maybe in the future they'll be good. But you just picked them up, man. You just got them now. And everyone knows that offensive line requires a cohesion. Everyone knows that an O-line requires, everyone has to be on the same page. You literally just picked up people off the street and said, hey, you're playing left guard, you're playing left tackle, you're playing right tackle against the Lions, who are super hot right now. Yeah, they're injury decimated. Luckily, Aiden Hutchinson's not out there for us because oh my God, that would be brutal. That D-line is relatively decimated for the Lions, but still, the quality between our offensive line and their D-line is bar none different. It's night and day. That D-line is going to feast. And the fact that Kyle Shanahan is I don't see why we should put Tanner Mordecai out there, Brandon Allen, or Joshua Dobbs out there. I think we should still put Brock Purdy. I try not to talk shit about Kyle Shanahan because it just fuels the haters that it would make people think that I'm trying to call for his job and I think he should get fired. No, I do think the head coaches do just make dumb decisions every now and again, even great ones. But this is definitely one I do not get behind. If this was any other week, any other situation, if we had a full offensive line or just one offensive lineman missing, I'd be like, okay, why not? Put a depth piece in there. No, you are literally putting in what would be considered the fourth depth piece in one position. You are putting in literally people you picked up right off the street just this week, just on Christmas Eve, just last week. But Brock Purdy is going to get obliterated on Monday Night Football. Brock Purdy is going to die on Monday Night Football. If he comes out of that, last week I felt that if he were to come out of that game unscathed and perfectly healthy, it's a miracle. And apparently he is, so that's a miracle. This week, against a better D-line, holy crap, are we going to get obliterated? Holy crap, is Brock Purdy going to get destroyed? I expect dink and dunks all game. I expect no deep passes. I expect Brock Purdy to go out there and just literally go dink and dunk it. Throw to his checkdowns left and right. Do 5-yard passes because I can't imagine him have any kind of time, any kind of real protection. Because if Brock Purdy ends up having any kind of protection at all and he's not scrambling for his life, I would be utterly shocked. That would be a miracle in itself. He's literally playing with Charlie Heck, who we just picked up, Jake Brendel, who is ass at center. We got Pooney, he's a rookie. He's going to make some mistakes. Nick Sikell's never started in his life. Austin Pleasant, I don't know if he started. I think he started before. My God, dude. And like I said, the scheme has already been figured out. The protection scheme of the 49ers of Kyle Shanahan's offense has already been figured out prior to this. So now add that on top of a bunch of players just coming in, forcing that cohesion and just hoping that they all just play well together. Oh, my Lord. It's going to be like Depot Prod said, if we magically win this game, wow, I'm talking a lot of shit. I'm going at it. I'm talking a lot of shit, but we're not going to win this game. All right. Brock Purdy's going to go in this game and do everything he can to win it, of course. And he's going to play. He's going to start. I don't think he should because you're asking for an accident. You're asking for him to tear something. You're asking for him to break something, which is going to hurt his duration throughout his career. It's going to possibly end his career, especially since you're going to put him out there against a team. You're going to put him out there against a team that's going to want to see this 49ers team lose. And I mean lose badly. They want revenge. From what I've heard, from what I've seen from other Lions players, they're talking like, oh, this team is a lot better than they make it out to be. We're going to come at them 110%. They are going to try their ass off. They are going to score after score after score. If it is 55-7, they're going to keep scoring. They're going to keep going. This team wants revenge, and this team is, out of all 32 teams, this team would be the one to say, fuck you. We're getting revenge. We're biting your kneecap off. and we're going to hurt Purdy. We're going to do the whole shebang, dude. It's going to be crazy, dude. It's just going to be like I'm waiting for a wreck to happen. Just a total crash out to happen on this defense. Sorry, on this offensive line, that Brock Purdy's just going to get obliterated. No one's going to be able to get anything done in the run game because we all know Patrick Taylor is going to get the start because I do agree. I've heard Larry talk about this. Larry talks about how, like, I don't know why you don't play with it with these last 2 games, test people out, see what they can do. I agree with that. Put Tanner Mordecai out there. Let's see what Abikonda can do. Let's see what other players can do. I want to see what they got. And you might as well. Instead, we're putting out players as if you're trying to play for a playoff spot, playing the next best guy. And it's like, dude, stop that. You're not playing for anything. I'm all for like players trying hard and things of that nature. But when you have these valuable reps, I just think it's ridiculous to put Patrick Taylor out there. I think it's ridiculous to put Brock Purdy out there. We need to see what these other guys have got going on, especially with this offensive line. This offensive line is going to get Brock Purdy killed, and Kyle Shanahan just cannot see it. He cannot see the problem of putting this guy out there in a very violent sport against a team that just wants to destroy us. So I don't like this approach. I'm not liking this at all. For once, I'm not saying I'm turning on Kyle Shanahan and saying fire him, but I'm jumping on some sort of train of like, what the fuck are you doing? What are you trying to do? I know that Kyle's like, oh, these valuable reps, we'll see what he'll learn from this. What would he possibly learn from? Do you plan on this offensive line using reserves from the practice squad level over and over again? Do you plan on not fixing the offensive line next year? Do you plan on this being the norm? What he's going to play? No, man. Yeah, I understand that. Like this year, there were some lessons you got to learn. Like, okay, you don't have your receivers are getting last separation. They're slow as shit. You don't have your elite weapons anymore. See what you can do. But at some point, it's just murder. At some point, you're just putting that guy out there to get his ass beat. There's nothing to learn here. There's nothing to educate yourself on, man. He's already gotten his ass beat against the Dolphins. He's going to get his ass beat again against the Lions. I mean, the Lions are better than the fucking Dolphins. The Lions are way more hungry than the Dolphins are when it comes to this team. There is no lesson worth learning here. I don't understand the logic behind, hey, let's go ahead and throw Brock Purdy out there. I understand there's 4 games, there's 2 games left, and people are going to say, oh, Brock Purdy got benched. I don't care. I don't care about that narrative. I don't give a shit. Let them spin that narrative, dude. But all I know is the reality is there's people with emotions, there's haters saying, oh, he got benched. The reality is he needs to sit to protect himself. He needs to sit to protect his career. You're going to pay this guy millions and millions of dollars, and your pop's going to go out there and get him killed because you think he's going to teach him some sort of lesson. Is unreal to me. Blows my mind. Like, I'm afraid for Brock Purdy. I'm afraid for all of it. I don't want to see him get hurt. But you're literally playing with players you picked up just a week ago at the very latest. Austin Pleasant is going to play right tackle. You picked him up somewhere around like the 19th or 18th. I could be wrong. You got Jake Brendel, who's ass. You got Nick Sakel, who's been on the depth chart, and he's like way down in the depth chart, dude. Nobody even wants to pick him up as a depth piece. He's that bad. He's literally just Brock Purdy's best friend. And then you got Charlie Heck, who you just picked up. Like, he could be good. The 49ers actually liked him in the draft. He got drafted in the 3rd round. And so I don't remember when, but like cohesion, man, is a thing for offensive linemen. Like momentum, like studying, like practicing together, but practicing for 3 practices is not going to do it, man. We could have got Brian O'Neill from the Vikings for crying out loud, and it probably wouldn't have worked out. It would be just as concerning because offensive line requires everyone working together, especially when it comes to one side. Center, right guard, right tackle, they need to be on the right point. center, left guard, right, left tackle need to be on the same page. It is unfathomable that we're going to put Brock Purdy out there just because either A, it's because we need to teach him, because it will teach him something very valuable for running for his life and having to throw the ball with 1 second, or it's just because you don't want the narrative of, hey, Brock Purdy is getting benched. You don't want that narrative. Fuck that, dude. Haters are going to do what haters are going to be what they are, right? Reporters are going to spin the narrative what they want. But the reality is when you come in the middle, like get away from your emotions and look at the reality of things, putting Brock Purdy out there against a team that wants to destroy you, and I mean they want to destroy the 49ers for knocking them off the NFC Championship game. I just can't see him coming out of that game not beat up. He's going to come out of that game destroyed. He's going to get obliterated. He got obliterated last week, and yet somehow by some miracle, he didn't die. Dear Lord. If this was the Cardinals, wouldn't feel as bad. If this was another team, wouldn't be like, okay, not as bad. But this team literally wants to destroy and murder every player on this team.